Thank you very much for coming in such a wonderful day and still sitting inside. Well, I started with the Factory Girl project, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So the Factory Girl project started with actually another project, which is I done the one-child policy project on discover about the one-child policy impact, particularly on the young generation of women. And then during that research, with over 300 of them, and I started to note, had a discussion with some of the girls who are actually factory workers. So from that, I started to understand their identity, their personalities, not so much like the ones we've seen on the press or actually on the media. So let's think, usually when we look in the media and on the press, in the West, we always have these Chinese workers bending over assembly lines, looking pretty miserable, making happy-looking toys for us. And yes, there are a lot of controversy around it for their pay, their living standard, and usually linking to a lot of social and human rights issues. And particularly like this one particularly says like battery hands. So there's a kind of, we're making them into victims without really understanding who they are, but just looking very simple thing as pay, money, and living conditions. And is there more someone will want from their life just for money and for conditions? From the talks, I realized gradually thinking, yes, there may be. And there's something more about their personality that to be discovered. On the other hand, okay, the Chinese media like to portray them as very healthy, happy-looking workers in beautiful suits, enjoy whatever they do. So what is the real stories? What's their stories? Is they going to tell us what they're thinking? So this, to understand them, we're going to have a look at how Chinese economic miracle started. So there is, even from the early 80s, Chinese villagers always be moving to cities. But there is a little catch. At the beginning is always men. That's why the a little bit flat growth. Because men looking for construction works and heavy industries. And all of a sudden, women start coming into play. And that is when women started to catch up and start manufacturing goods we all use every day and made China the manufacturing center of the world. Because women, we have very tangible hands. We're really able to make a very tiny iPhone, for example, to get your hands in there and make delicate toys. So through this, we see now this year, there's over 260 million migrant workers in China. This group of people make the largest human migration on Earth. So every year, they make this trip from the villages, go to cities to look for jobs and going back. There's so much we know. I mean, the media, films, everything being covered about that. But 90% of the factory workers are actually women. So lots of the people, women are the central power of this workforce. And the 1 in 5 man-made objects that's on this planet are made by these factory workers. So think about if you have more than 4 things on you, ideally something will be made by these girls. Yet we know very little apart from, okay, pays, yes, the condition we talk about them, but not about who they are themselves. So there's this cycle. From these women, this is ideal. Chinese government will love it, and the economists will love it, is the women coming from the village, go to factories, make things, make enough money, okay, good pay. And then what do is that they completely say goodbye to the city lives. They go back to the villages, become mothers, and then 20 years later, their children is going to repeat this cycle. Do you think, if you have the mind, if you worked in the condition, these girls, you know they've been working 18 hours a day, and then for the pay, you want your children to repeat the same thing. So isn't there something women trying to break out this pattern that was the society is being imposed on them? So from this is, of course, from my research, there's changes in their attitudes and in what they're thinking, how they portray themselves, and find their own value in the society. So how I'm thinking of to explore that, or to take their story and show it to people through art, because I'm an artist and I believe the power of art. So what happened is, there's something I want to talk about art. I have a very personal way of tackling art. I think in the 20th century, we all ask, what is art? Art is, anything is art. By now, literally everything we can say, this is art, if we decided it's art. So art becomes so general. So what is the purpose? Is art still have any value? Because if everything is art. So I think now we really need, as artists, to step back and think, okay, is there any other things that is I can get out of art, and the purpose, there is anything that I can contribute as an artist? Particularly because I'm a Chinese artist. I know, in China, if you go around and talk to anyone on the street and saying, I'm a journalist, people instantly say, no. But what I find is through my own experience as an artist, whenever I post any exhibitions, any activities in China, people are fascinated about art. People are able to communicate and talk to me. Art become a tool to explore people around me, not just about me anymore, but about people that I can reach through this, and become a communication tool, a bridge that linking culture and ideas together. And so what is through the artworks is the first thing is to think how we're going to do that. And I'm thinking through performance art. Because performance art is the one without any language we can all do. If we do something, the same gesture, everyone will have their own way of doing it. And with these girls, is that all of them I interviewed, very funnily, most of them, majority of them, would not rank for their human rights issues. They will not say it's because the pay is bad, or it's because what's the living condition. They were thinking something else. They wanted to become better of themselves. So I thought, okay, they all have dreams. For example, this girl, she's from Tibet, very, very typical girl. All the way travel from Tibet to southern China to work in the sofa factory. And the story of her is, as well she was working, she spent all her money on two things. The first thing is clothes. That is all their own clothes, so they wear whatever they feel comfortable. The second thing is she's doing a dancing club. She really wants to become an actress. I mean, this is kind of dream that we all have here. We all dream of become somebody, something before. But these girls, in this kind of working condition, they still have these dreams. So I get them into photo studio. Of course, you got to understand, they're all coming from villages. They never ever had the privilege, has professional makeup done, or had their photo taken in a very professional way. So these girls, so we see on the left, so she's thinking she's already there with her makeup, with her postures, everything, she's already there, a star. And then the other side is her now, a little girl in a sofa company, making sofa for the like of IKEA's or any huge brand. And this is something I want to capture. Is the thing we never seen in these girls is the kind of the inner self, the things that they aspire to, that we never heard of. We only hear about a very artificial layer of humanity. So this is, let's look at another girl. There's a very interesting thing about her. With her is the company she worked before, owned her and her colleagues lots of money for a month's pay. That's about £400. That's a lot for them. And then, so instead of looking at it very negatively, she just said, okay, let's go and ask for the money. But how much can they really asking it? The next day, we were supposed to get the money out of the factory. So you can imagine it's intense. But the day before, we were in clubs, clubbing 4 o'clock in the morning, because it's the sheer ability to make the most out of the worst condition possibly can. That make women so strong, and make them so strong. So she's a very, very, very technology savvy. She's very favorite. Her favorite thing is taking selfies all the time and send it to the boys through internet, through her phones. So you see completely, they're so adaptive to the culture. And then this is a girl we meet in a very special circumstance. Her story is one day she was walking on the street. I was with my friends all having drinks. Then she was walking, she just arrived. She's only, at that time, 18 years old. One of the guys, a thief, just grabbed her earrings, pulled it off her ear, and walked past her. And then after almost a second later, turned back, threw the earring back at her, and slapped her across the face twice. And then just said, if you want to wear gold earrings, wear real gold. At least wear real gold. And this, we all astonished, and we all rushed to her aid, and I'm thinking, this is horrible, how could this happen? This is one thing about Chinese hukou system. In China, this system makes sure you only have rights in your birthplace. So once you move the ways, for example, they in the villages, they lose that right. So this is how, it's subtle things, through their stories, we can look and see how this really developed. So I try to use mobile phones as the media, because mobile is how they communicate with the world outside their factories every single day. So I use the mobile, and I actually literally take their mobiles from them, and then use this to document, to capture all the performance on it, with the ones that they taking the makeup off, reversing to the factory girls they are now. And you can really see how they become upset as the makeup's taken off, because how they've been disrespected, and they have so little right in the city. And so it's more of how we can feel through these active actions, rather than just talk very roughly. And in the gallery, this is how people really, I really encourage people to feel the phones and to look through the photos themselves and see how we are different and similar to them in different ways. And then I even took my dog for a little bit of educational tour. I think she enjoyed it. So this project is also going to for 2020, because that's supposed when China's economy is going to overtake America's. So I want to see now, I just got back from China yesterday, and now I already seeing there's so much changing in the ways girls finding jobs. They're not a mere tour anymore. They're not just going there and like slaves, psychologically, like they're so disposable, but they decided to choose what they wanted to do. So how they going to position and change their own destinies through the China's next miracles overtaking America. I really want to document that and share, use their own language and share with audience, share with everybody together. So I know it's a very short time, but there's lots more information on my website, and there's a documentary on there, a detail of the exhibitions, and in the future more exhibition coming up. Thank you very much for your time.